given is to be in the world for its own good. But what if the world does not want us or even view Christians as being good? How can we collectively, as Christians in our communities, try to bring life to the world when the world doesn't think it needs it? So far, we've talked about the personal dimension and the communal dynamic of being given, what leads us to that posture and what it looks like in a congregation. But what does being given look like in our culture at large, especially a culture where Christianity is not always welcome? Before we can answer that, we must look closely at our world and how its attitudes toward faith have changed. The Malaysia of my childhood was a melting pot of Southeast Asia, bringing together the languages, cultures, and religions from many countries in that corner of the world. Take language as an example. Most Malaysians, the moniker itself refers to a nationality and not an ethnicity, speak at least 2 languages. That's because one of the legacies left by the British Empire is that English is spoken at least in the cities and major towns. But after the British left, public education had to be taught in Malay by law. If you were a Chinese Malaysian, you may have spoken Cantonese in your home, Malay in school, and English around town with your friends. The cultural fusions are even more interesting. In addition to the English language, schools, and a parliamentary form of government, the British also left behind a fascination with their way of life. My maternal grandfather, for example, insisted on ordering his shoes and cufflinks from a shop in London. Growing up, I saw how East and West blended together, nowhere more clearly than at the dinner table. I grew up eating pork chops with Chinese chili sauce and roast chicken with curry powder, usually served with a side of rice. When it came to religion, there was a mosque down the street from our home. 2 doors down, a bright red Buddhist altar hung on the wall by the front door with a holder for incense sticks. Many of the relatives on my dad's side of the family are Hindus, and visits to their homes meant staring with childhood curiosity at the shrine room on the main level, closed off by a wall of bead strings hanging from the ceiling to the floor. I grew up around Muslims, Buddhists, and Hindus. I went to school with them, played around the neighborhood with them, and swam at the health club with them. I ate at restaurants, played at the park, rode the bus, and shopped at the mall with people who believed deeply in these ancient religions. Before I knew what religious pluralism was, I was steeped in it. Major cities around the world have begun to resemble the kind of multilingual, multicultural, multi-religious world I knew as a child in Malaysia. Pluralism of all kinds is the urban and increasingly suburban norm. Ironically, it is precisely this religious pluralism converging in a common space that is giving rise to what some are calling a new secular age. By this, they do not mean an age where no one believes in God. That would be a subtraction story, a tale of how culture eradicated God from its consciousness. Rather, as described by Oxford philosopher Charles Taylor, it is an age when belief is contested, when faith is no longer the default position. In the past, especially in America, we may have assumed that most people thought they should believe in God, but just got caught up with work or decided to go sow their wild oats or whatever the case may be. Today, few, if any, start from that premise. And if one does believe in God, that belief is often challenged, questioned, or opposed. A person might ask, why do you assume there is a God? Why do you assume that faith is necessary? Why should we actually believe this way? Religious belief is now contested because of the religious pluralism in the global village in which we now live. That may seem like a strange thing to say. If more religions are coexisting in the same space, why would that result in religion itself being contested or questioned? Let's take American communities as an example. It used to be that the only people we knew in our town were people more or less like us. We all had the same rough definition of goodness, and we shared the notion that good people go to church on Sunday. Now, people live in the same kinds of homes, drive the same kinds of cars, buy groceries at the same place, and have lives that look the same, but their belief systems are very different. Some might adhere to different religions, and some might worship the subtle gods of materialism and individualism. Yet it seems that everyone is still in pursuit of the good life, even if the definition of goodness is far more diverse than before. The surface of our lives seems the same, even while the convictions and religious beliefs at the core are radically different. We are left to wonder if faith actually has any bearing on the quality of